Welcome back to another weekly recap. This week was nothing short of explosive, filled with shocking secrets, unexpected betrayals, emotional confrontations, and moments that left us all speechless. Every day brought new twists, new heartbreaks, and choices that will change everything moving forward. We saw relationships tested, alliances shifting, and loyalties pushed to their breaking point. Trust was questioned, lies were exposed, and emotions ran higher than ever before. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get more dramatic, another revelation shook everything to its core. And the best part? We're only getting started. The fallout from this week is guaranteed to set the stage for even more chaos in the days ahead. Before we dive in, do me a favor. Hit that like button if you're ready to relive all the drama, subscribe so you never miss a single recap, and share this video with all your fellow soap fans. And of course, let's hear from you. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. What shocked you the most this week? And what do you think is coming next? One thing's for sure, nothing will ever be the same after the events of this week. The drama is bigger, the secrets are deeper, and the consequences are only just beginning. So settle in, grab your favorite snack, and let's break it all down. This is your weekly recap. Welcome back to the channel. It's time to go over everything that happened this week on General Hospital, and let me tell you, Port Charles was overflowing with shocking twists, emotional confrontations, and mysteries that are only just beginning to unravel. If you thought last week set the stage, this week pulled the rug out from under everyone. We start with the moment that left fans stunned. Drew Kane was ambushed and shot, not once, but twice, in the back. It was a brutal attack that immediately raised questions about who wanted him silenced and why. Drew's relationships have already been rocky, and now his survival is uncertain. The shooting not only threatens his life, but it also throws his future with Willow into chaos. How long can Willow's loyalty hold, and what kind of man will Drew be if he makes it through this ordeal? Next comes a discovery that no one in Port Charles could have predicted. The body of Judge Heron was found floating in the water. At first, there might have been room for doubt, but Anna wasted no time confirming the truth. This was no accident. Judge Heron was murdered before her body ever touched the water. The question now is who killed her, and who benefits from her death. With Michael Corinthos tied to Judge Heron through the custody battle, this revelation is more than just shocking news. It has the power to change the entire direction of his fight for his family, and it could come back to haunt him in ways he never imagined. And then there's Willow. In a move that stunned those around her, Willow decided to get back together with Drew. Her reason? To strengthen her chances of regaining custody of her children. On the surface, it's a desperate act of love, but beneath it, many see the cracks. Chase certainly does. He warned Willow that her plan could collapse and take everything down with it. Willow is choosing strategy over stability, and that gamble might prove costly. This week wasn't just about shocking events, it was about shifting relationships. Willow and Drew's reunion is already being questioned, and not just by Chase. Michael and Christina voiced their fears about what this decision could mean for their family. They worry Drew's history, and his current state of mind, could drag Willow into deeper trouble than she can handle. Their concern is genuine, but whether Willow will hear it is another story. At the same time, Trina found herself confiding in Kai. She opened up about her fears for her mother, Portia, and revealed her determination to uncover the truth about Drew's blackmail material. By pulling Kai into her confidence, Trina is forming a partnership that could either help expose long-buried secrets or place both of them in danger. The more they dig, the more they risk, and that tension is only beginning to build. Looking ahead, the threads are coming together into a tangled web. The investigation into Judge Heron's death is bound to shake the foundations of Port Charles. Who was behind the judge's murder? Was it connected to the custody battle, or does it tie into an even larger scheme? Every secret that comes to light threatens to expose another, and Anna's determination to find the truth guarantees that this case won't be quietly swept under the rug. Meanwhile, Drew's recovery looms large. If he survives, the man who emerges from this ordeal may not be the same as the one who went in. His choices will ripple outward, affecting Willow, the custody fight, and every person who has crossed his path. And if he doesn't make it, the fallout will be devastating, not just for Willow, but for all of Port Charles. And let's not forget the atmosphere this week created. Fear, suspicion, and betrayal are creeping into every relationship. Families are being tested. Friendships are being pushed to their limits. No one feels secure, because the lines between ally and enemy are blurring more each day. The murder of a judge, the shooting of Drew, and the choices Willow has made are not isolated events. They're part of a much larger storm, one that's about to hit with full force. So, where does that leave us? With more questions than answers. Who pulled the trigger on Drew? Who silenced Judge Heron? Can Willow's plan hold, or will it collapse under the weight of her desperation? And how many more secrets are waiting to explode in Port Charles? This week gave us drama, heartbreak, and suspense, and if history is any indication, the weeks ahead will deliver even more. That's the extended recap for now. Stay tuned, because in Port Charles, the truth never stays buried for long. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're diving into the September 3rd episode of General Hospital, and Port Charles is at the center of a storm. This episode was packed with shocking revelations, intense confrontations, and plenty of mystery. Let's walk through everything that went down, and more importantly, what it could mean moving forward. The episode opened with a chilling discovery. Danny Morgan and Rocco Falconeri stumbled upon the body of Judge Eva Haran floating in the water. This could have been devastating for the boys, but Sonny Corinthos stepped in quickly. To protect them, he told the PCPD that he was the one who found the judge. That lie may shield the kids for now, but it puts Sonny in the middle of yet another dangerous investigation. His decision to carry that weight himself could have serious consequences in the weeks ahead. Meanwhile, across town, tragedy struck again. Drew Kane was ambushed and shot, twice in the back. His condition looks grim, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Anna and Dante responded to the emergency, launching an immediate investigation. But the question remains: who targeted Drew, and why? His shooting feels less like a random act and more like a calculated hit. The ripple effects of this violence will reach far beyond Drew himself. And if that wasn't enough, Willow Tate brought her own drama back to the hospital. She returned soaking wet, visibly shaken, and clearly hiding something. Elizabeth noticed right away, confronting Willow about her strange behavior. But Willow dodged every question. She's hiding the truth, and the weight of her silence only raises more suspicion. What exactly happened to her before she returned to General Hospital? Then we have Trina Robinson, who made a bold move. She went to Kai Taylor for help, desperate to protect her mother, Portia, from Drew's blackmail. Kai agreed, at least at first. But just when they were about to act, he disappeared without a trace. His sudden vanishing act adds yet another layer of danger, leaving Trina vulnerable and more determined than ever. This week's episode also put relationships under a microscope. Michael and Carly had been plotting to corner Willow, but Judge Haran's murder upended their plans. On top of that, Drew used the chaos to his advantage. He's blackmailing Michael, threatening to expose alleged bribery tied to the judge. If Michael doesn't find a way to shut Drew down, his entire world could unravel. At the same time, Christina Corinthos Davis struggled with a dark secret of her own. She's haunted by the truth about Rick Lansing's disappearance. When Molly and Elizabeth finally found Rick, he was battered and barely clinging to life. Before losing consciousness, he muttered the chilling words, "Not her." Who was he talking about? And what does Christina know that she isn't saying? And then there's Elizabeth herself. She's caught in the middle of the chaos and paying the price. A mysterious stranger warned her to stay away from Willow and to keep quiet. That warning was more than a scare tactic, it was a threat. The question now is whether Elizabeth will back down, or whether she'll dig deeper despite the danger. Looking ahead, the murder of Judge Haran is going to dominate the canvas. This investigation won't just reveal her killer, it's bound to uncover a tangled web of lies, corruption, and hidden connections. Michael, Sonny, Carly, and many others could be pulled into the fallout. Drew's survival is another turning point. If he lives, he'll return with leverage, power, and possibly a score to settle. If he doesn't, his absence will leave a void that changes everything for Willow and shifts the balance of power in Port Charles. And finally, we can't forget about Portia Robinson. There's speculation that she may resign as chief of staff. If that happens, it would shock the entire hospital and set off a new round of rivalries and power struggles inside those walls. So, where does that leave us? With more questions than answers. Who really killed Judge Haran, and what secrets will come to light in the process? Will Drew survive long enough to strike back, or will his shooting mark the end of his story? Can Willow continue to hide the truth, or will her silence destroy her? And what's next for Elizabeth, Christina, and Portia as the fallout spreads? This episode gave us murder, betrayal, and mystery, and it set the stage for explosive weeks ahead. In Port Charles, the truth always comes out, but when it does, it changes everything. On this unforgettable day in Port Charles, the lives of its citizens are once again torn apart by secrets, betrayal, and the relentless shadow of violence. The night begins with chaos. Drew Kane is ambushed and shot twice in the back. His body crumbles, and within moments, his fate lies in the hands of General Hospital's best. In the operating room, the stakes could not be higher. Portia Robinson and Lucas Jones scrub in, their faces lined with urgency and fear. As the bullets are removed one by one, Drew suddenly hemorrhages. The monitors scream, his heart falters, and the operating room is gripped by terror. In that crucial moment, it is Portia's courage, precision, and refusal to give up that saves him. Against all odds, she pulls Drew back from death. But as the hospital breathes a temporary sigh of relief, everyone knows this is only the beginning. Drew's survival is uncertain, his recovery far from guaranteed, and the questions about who wanted him dead are just beginning to unfold. In the aftermath, Anna Devane and Detective Harrison Chase launch a full-scale investigation. They begin compiling a list of suspects that reads like a who's who of Port Charles. Alexis, Carly, Michael, Sonny, Curtis, Willow, and Nina, every single one of them is on their radar. One by one, Anna and Chase begin questioning alibis, pressing for answers, and peeling back the carefully constructed masks that people wear in this city of secrets. Each denial only leads to more suspicion. Each hesitation hints at motives buried deep in the past. But the truth is being buried just as quickly. In the shadows of Portia's home, Kai and Trina are consumed with fear. They know the danger of evidence linking Portia to Drew's shooting, and in a desperate act, they set out to destroy it. The test results are tossed into the sink, flames eating away at the paper as smoke curls into the air. They believe the secret is safe, but Port Charles has a way of pulling secrets into the light. Stella Henry arrives at the wrong moment, or perhaps the right one, and what she sees ignites her suspicion. Her mind immediately turns to Curtis, wondering if he, too, is entangled in this violent web. What was meant to protect their family may now unravel it, leaving Kai and Trina exposed, vulnerable, and perhaps even complicit in the eyes of the law. Elsewhere, Nina Reeves finds herself cornered by her own lies. To shield herself from suspicion, she invents an alibi, insisting she was walking with Willow at the time of the shooting. But Willow's sharp instincts cannot be fooled. She confronts Nina, her voice edged with hurt and fury, accusing her of protecting only herself. The fragile bond between mother and daughter fractures once more, a wound that may never heal. For Nina, the lie might buy her time, but the damage it leaves behind with Willow could prove irreparable. The ripple effects of the shooting reach further still. Kai and Trina's young love, already fragile, is strained to breaking as their cover-up binds them in guilt and fear. Michael Corinthos finds himself cornered by circumstance when Tracy Quartermain steps in. After spotting Michael dangerously close to Drew's house on the night of the shooting, Tracy urges him to create an alibi, not because she believes in his innocence, but because she fears what will happen if his presence is revealed. In doing so, she protects Michael, but her silence only deepens the shadows hanging over the Quartermain family. And so, the questions multiply. Who pulled the trigger that left Drew fighting for his life? Was it revenge, desperation, or a secret long buried that drove the shooter to act? The investigation will dig deeper, unearthing truths that many in Port Charles would do anything to keep hidden. For Drew, survival is the first step, but recovery will bring its own complications. How will he move forward knowing he has enemies willing to take his life? What will his brush with death mean for the people he loves, Carly, Sam, his children? His relationships hang in the balance, just as his life does. And in the silence of the night, one truth becomes clear: in Port Charles, no secret stays buried forever. The identity of the shooter, and the motives behind this brutal act, will soon come to light. And when it does, the fallout will be felt across every corner of General Hospital. Welcome back, everyone. If you're new here, I bring you daily breakdowns of all the biggest soap twists, so make sure to hit that like button, share this with your fellow GH fans, and of course, subscribe so you don't miss a single episode recap. Now let's get into the drama from Port Charles, because today's episode was intense. The investigation into Drew's shooting is heating up, and tensions are rising everywhere. Anna and Chase are working the case, but they're at odds. Anna's list of suspects keeps growing, from Willow, to Portia, even to Nina. Chase doesn't share her instincts, and that friction between them is starting to show. Dante, meanwhile, is going his own way. He corners Alexis with some tough questions, and the look on her face says it all. There's more to her involvement than she's letting on. If Scout really overheard something she wasn't supposed to, Alexis may be sitting on a secret that could shake Port Charles to its core. While all that's going on, Jason is back in Dalmatia, and his return is anything but safe. He narrowly avoids a gunshot in what looks like a targeted attack. The timing and the circumstances raise huge red flags, especially with the judge's murder still casting a shadow over the storyline. Jason is shaken, but in classic Jason fashion, he's not backing down. You can tell he's already calculating his next move, determined to protect Drew and get to the bottom of who's behind all of this. And then there's Jocelyn and Vaughn. Their storyline took a darker turn today. They tried to escape captivity, but their plan failed and they were recaptured. What stood out most wasn't just the danger, but the heart of their conversation afterward. The two of them shared a raw moment about sacrifice, loyalty, and what it means to trust someone when your life is on the line. Vaughn's feelings for Jocelyn are definitely complicated. You can sense it in the way he looks at her and listens to her. And it leaves us wondering, is this just survival bonding, or is it something more? Brennan, meanwhile, is playing puppet master. He's feeding Anna selective intelligence, carefully pointing her suspicions toward Carly, Jocelyn, and Vaughn. It's classic psychological warfare, and the danger here isn't just that Anna might buy into it. It's that Brennan's manipulation could pit allies against each other, tearing families apart and distracting everyone from the real threat. And the more Anna leans into what Brennan is feeding her, the more isolated she risks becoming. Alexis also had a jaw-dropping moment today. A revelation hits her that could destroy everything. If Scout really overheard a link to Drew's shooting, Alexis is now holding the kind of knowledge that makes her both powerful and vulnerable at the same time. It's the kind of secret that could reshape not just her life, but ripple across the entire canvas of Port Charles. Relationships are being tested everywhere. Anna and Chase are no longer on the same page, and their strained partnership is heading for a breaking point. Jason and Drew's bond is being pushed into the spotlight, with Jason prepared to risk it all to find justice for his brother. And Jocelyn and Vaughn are being forced into closeness that neither of them could have predicted, leaving their future uncertain once they're out of this nightmare. Looking ahead, you can already see the storm clouds gathering. The investigation into Drew's shooting is going to have far-reaching consequences. When the truth comes out, and it always does, the fallout will change the dynamics of Port Charles in ways no one expects. Jason's determination to get justice will drive him harder than ever, and that could mean new alliances, or brand new conflicts. And Brennan's plan? That's still in motion. His manipulation of Anna is only just beginning, and the consequences when it all blows up could shift everything. So what do you think? Is Brennan about to outsmart everyone in Port Charles, or will Anna figure out his game before it's too late? And where do you see Jocelyn and Vaughn heading? Is this trauma bonding, or the start of something real? I want to know your theories, so drop them in the comments. And if you love keeping up with the drama as much as I do, make sure you smash that like button, share this video with your soap-loving friends, and hit subscribe so you never miss the next update. Every click helps keep this channel growing, and it means I can bring you even more recaps, spoilers, and deep dives.